Future project managers, welcome back. Today we are tackling the challenging task of project scope management. The heart of it all is understanding what is and isn't part of our project. In the first lesson, we'll dive into requirement gathering, which is finding and defining the requirements that our project must fulfill. Afterward, we'll define our project boundaries by detailing its scope. Last but not least, we'll develop a work breakdown structure, or WBS, a visual representation that breaks down our project into manageable chunks. By the end of this module, you'll have a better handle on how to manage your project scope and fend off the dreaded scope creep.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to LearnIQ Education. Today, we're diving into an essential topic for successful projects: project scope management.
That's right, Angela. Managing scope effectively means ensuring a project includes all the necessary work to meet objectives without wasting time or resources on unnecessary tasks.
So, let's break it down step by step and share some best practices. Ready, Darren?
Always. Let's start with step 1, defining the scope.
First, we need to understand stakeholder needs. Darren, why is this step so important?
It's crucial because stakeholders have different expectations. To get everyone on the same page, you need to engage them and gather their requirements.
Exactly. Tools like surveys, interviews, focus groups, and brainstorming sessions can help.
And once you've collected the information, document it clearly. That way, you've got a solid reference point for the rest of the project.
After understanding the needs, it's time to create a project scope statement.
This includes everything from objectives and deliverables to constraints, assumptions, and acceptance criteria. The key here? Clarity. If it's not clear, it'll cause confusion later.
Totally agree. And once the scope statement is ready, you can develop a work breakdown structure, or WBS.
The WBS is like a roadmap. It breaks the project into manageable tasks and subtasks. Visual tools like diagrams or hierarchical charts can make this process much easier.
Now that we've defined the scope, the next step is planning how to manage it. Darren, what's the first thing we need?
A solid scope management plan. This outlines how you'll plan, execute, and control the project scope.
And don't forget to include methods for scope validation, change control processes, and scope reporting.
Absolutely. To make this even easier, consider using project management software like Asana, Trello, or Jira. These tools help keep everything organized and trackable.
Now, controlling the scope is where things can get tricky. What's the first thing to focus on, Darren?
A change control process. Change is inevitable, but how you manage it makes all the difference.
Agreed. Start by recording any proposed changes, evaluate their impact on the timeline, cost, and deliverables, and then get stakeholder approval.
Don't forget to update the scope statement and WBS after approval. Keeping everything current avoids confusion.
Also, monitor progress closely. Dashboards and reports are great for spotting scope creep early.
And let's not forget about stakeholder expectations. Regular communication is key to keeping everyone happy and aligned.
Once you've controlled the scope, you need to validate it. Darren, what does that involve?
2 things: regular reviews at key milestones and obtaining formal acceptance from stakeholders. If they sign off on deliverables, you know you're on track.
Plus, it prevents last-minute surprises, which no one likes. Now, let's talk about everyone's least favorite issue, scope creep. How do we stop it?
First, set clear boundaries. Everyone should know what's included and what's not.
Also, use a change request form. This ensures every adjustment is documented and approved.
And prioritize tasks. Focusing on high-impact work helps avoid distractions.
Finally, closing the scope ensures everything is wrapped up properly. What should we do here?
Start by verifying that all deliverables meet the outlined acceptance criteria. Use checklists or audits to double-check.
And don't forget to document lessons learned. Recording challenges, successes, and recommendations will help future projects.
Before we wrap up, let's share some quick best practices. Engage stakeholders early. Get everyone involved from the start. Use visual tools. Diagrams and flowcharts improve clarity. Communicate regularly. Keep stakeholders updated to avoid surprises. Stay flexible. Adapt when necessary, but manage changes carefully. Document everything. This creates accountability and avoids confusion.
Perfectly said. With these steps and best practices, managing project scope becomes a lot easier.
Thanks for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more project management tips.
And don't forget to leave your questions in the comments. We'll see you in the next video.